Well, changing of the guard, if you want to call it that. I'm going to change the USMC plate to a Confederate flag plate. And I decided to get one with gold on it, because I had the red and gold, but that's back to the hinting at the USMC. But this is actually made in USA, though, too. It's Ruffin Flag Company, Crawford, Georgia, 241 Alexander Street, Northwest. So that's not a Chinese-made thing. That's one good thing. That's going on the back of my El Camino right now. I mean, on the front of it. But on the back of my El Camino, I have, I got it up in the air because doing the gas tank. I have, well, the Florida Sheriff's Department and that one. And just painted the gas tank this morning to, before the rain came, hit it with the, I already steam cleaned it and sandblasted and all that crap like that. And did a rust killing primer, then some good enamel on there. So, but anyway, I'm going to get this sign thing right on here right now. We got a few more too. Hey, when they tell me it's politically incorrect, what do? Hey, I'll go for that. You know what I mean? Well, I say that's an improvement already. That looks good. It looks good with the gold, man. I like it better than this one. Haha. It looks good. So, and actually, after I finish up the rest of the crap on this, I'm going to probably put one of those Cooter's horns in it, like from the General Lee. It's going to have one of those horns in it. So we're not going to have the old one on the side and the flag on the roof, but we got a flag in the back. We got flags on the flags in the back, and we got flags in the front. We got one on the back of the windshield, and we got one on the tailgate, and we got one on the bumper in the back, and we got one here in the front. So that's good enough. We'll get that horn on there too later. Well, in the back of the Samurai, I'm going to put this right here, right there. And I got that already, but this will be a metal sign, so it won't go away very easy. And I already clear coated it, and the way I'm going to put it on is I'm going to use some pop rivets, a couple pop. I'll just drill right into the body. And if I need to freaking fill in the holes, you can use that panel adhesive, which that epoxy will never come out of a little hole like that, especially if you tap it in. Or I can just weld it up and grind it over, and freaking it'd be like brand new again. But tailgates on Samurais don't survive very long anyway. But a couple pop rivets, and that pop rivet gun I actually got back in the 70s, man. So it's the little one, and I got the big one. The big works sort of like what do you call it? Almost like bolt cutters. It's got big jaws, a big handle, right? And the little one's good for that. And just got, and I'm gonna drill an 1/8" hole, but actually a 9/64 because it goes in there a lot better. So we'll get this done right now. And behind the hole, I'm gonna put a little bit of, I'll paint it a little bit with that, but I'm gonna put a little strip caulking so it'll seal any water up from getting any rust in that area, starting any rust. So because it'll be smashed right in there with the strip caulking. Okay. Cool to go. Good to go. I'm not even sure people know how the pop rivets work. Some people do, but this one is it's a very cheap one, very easy. It's very light. It gets in little places. You open it up a little bit, and it's got the jaws. And it's got the 1/8" and when it's so it grips. There's like jaws in here that grip the nail head right here. This nail head. So as you squeeze this together, it pulls this in. And it mushrooms that out, and that's how it secures on the other side, and it snaps off the end of the bolt. And they're strong. I should be able to do this one-handed. You just squeeze the handle, and you slide it up. And one more. There you go. It snaps off. So that's riveted on there. Just 2 holes. It's steel plate. It's been clear coated, and it's been painted. The rust inhibiting primer where I drill the hole, and it's got the strip caulking over it, so there shouldn't be a rust spot, just like I did with this. So that looks pretty good. There might be one on the back of the bike too. Well, I just did attach one to the back of the bike, just over the license plate, which I have covered up. Fit right on that little mini sissy bar thing. So there you go. Of course, the Confederate flag motorcycle cover I made before. Hey, you know what? Anytime they tell me to do something, I do the opposite. And the deal is this. I realize too, even like, I was a Marine, and I respect the Marine Corps, but I also realized the only time a war was fought by, 2 times a war was fought by independent, free Americans fighting for their true homeland was the War of 1776, the American Revolution, and the Southern Confederates fighting against the War of Northern Aggression by the military-industrial complex of Abe Lincoln, trying to enforce his tax rolls, not just preserve the Union. Yeah, you sure tell me another one, man. As J.P. Morgan always says, a man has two reasons for doing everything: a good reason, like Abe Lincoln was saying, to free the slaves, preserve the Union, and a real reason, to keep the tax rolls coming into Washington, D.C., and make sure that the people up in North who had financial interest through the banking system and also ownership of the plantations in the South, they didn't lose their freaking ass. Because that's what would have happened if the South became an independent country. There would have been major financial losses up in the North. They would have collapsed. And it would have probably been sucked up into the South eventually, because they would have been the ones with nothing. Well, it's a long story, because Maryland actually was voting to be a Confederate state, and Abe Lincoln arrested all the legislators. That's how they couldn't freaking secede. The other thing is, Virginia, North Carolina, and Tennessee, they seceded later, right? You know why that was? Because in South Carolina, when they seceded, Abe Lincoln did a blockade not only on South Carolina, he included North Carolina and Virginia. So the other states said, we're done. We can have our coast blockaded by this asshole tyrant unilaterally with no authorization by Congress. That's what pushed them to secede too. And Maryland would have seceded if he didn't arrest the entire legislature. But J.P. Morgan realized, even back in 1864, that Abe Lincoln was just it was the beginning of the military-industrial complex. Even though I respect the Marine Corps and all that, to tell you the truth, this in 1776 was the only time free Americans fought for their homeland and for their right to exist as free men with self-government. And that's why the elite hate this freaking symbol. And that's why they lie about it. So, anyway, we're keeping it up. To hell with them.